What actually happens when a quote unquote nerd wins? Now, there's a video I'll try to pull up. A comedian, he is a comedian famous for his definition of what a nerd, geek, or a
I am a nerd. I am not a geek. I am a nerd. And what's the difference? You're probably asking, what's the difference? Actually, I have a Venn diagram to show you the difference. I'm one of the few comics working in Venn diagrams. It takes three things to be a nerd. You have to be smart, socially awkward, and obsessed. All three of those things, and you are, in fact, a nerd. Geeks, on the other hand, they really are just smart and obsessed, because they're like into comic books, comic book geeks, Star Trek geeks. They get dressed up, they do cosplay, they go out and they intermingle. Not nerds. We stay at home and don't do anything. We text and email. That's about it. Now, if you're smart and socially awkward, you're a dork. And nobody wants to be a dork. So if you're a dork, you just get obsessed and you move into the nerd region. That's smart. And if you're socially awkward and obsessed, you're a stalker. What's amazing is how close those four things are, really. It's a short walk between these.
Basically, over the course of multiple conversations that I've had with clients who are self-professed nerds. Let's be clear about this, all right? There are those who self-identify as nerds. There are no two ways about it. They are into, specific pursuits that are not on the beaten path. It's not mainstream. It's not very popular. They admit to having a level of alternative social development. Let me put it that way. Let me say it like that. And basically, their interest in having consultations with a seduction coach in particular, and let me be clear, give me 2 seconds. When a man elects for a seduction coach, of course he's looking for a dating coach. Of course he's looking for the type of coach who brings accountability to the interaction. But specifically, when we talk about seduction, we are talking about instructions, lessons, tools, systems, and strategies that are specifically tuned towards going from hello to the pillow, okay, in that progression. So whereas a standard game coach would be into technique and going over, your positives and negatives, what you can address, maybe socially, how you present physically with your wardrobe, what is your approach style, things of that nature. I'm more a specialist. This is like sniper school, okay? When you elect for a seduction coach, you're entering the ranger school of coaching. And basically, over the course of my experiences coaching self-professed nerds, this interesting phenomena kept repeating itself. We go into the background of a person when we're setting up the pre-consultation questionnaire. Anybody who has elected for coaching with me understands and appreciates that before we even get started, before we even, lock down the time, obviously you're going to submit your deposit, you're going to submit that, but I immediately send this out to you. I need to understand what region you're from. I need to understand some things about your current situation. And so I have those clients who elect for services complete this particular form. Now, there's more to this form underneath, but I cut that off, right? Many of you may be familiar with this exercise that I perform. I said, pull up your IG. If you don't have IG, pull up Facebook. If you don't have Facebook, pull up Google Images, okay? What we are going to do, we're going to look at the Miss Universe pageant contestants, all right? You've got hundreds of them from around the world. This is the Miss Universe, all right? Show me who you believe is an 8, 9, and 10. And fortunately, I don't record these conversations, because if I could and if I were allowed to play these back, and you see the look on guys' face when they're face to face, even just from a screen perspective of an 8, 9, or a 10 that they chose, be it from Kenya, be it from Namibia, be it from Colombia, be it from Venezuela, be it from Thailand. This beauty can come from anywhere that they choose. But now they're face to face with that beauty. And now the lesson begins. Now what I need you to do is to describe her. Describe her to me, right? That's a whole other level of approach to appreciating what's happening. What is happening internally? Because a lot of men pause when we get to that part of the exercise. You see, the reason why we practice this particular exercise is to get a man his thought process together under pressure. You see, because one of the brilliant aspects of being alive as a man is our testosterone. You see, and what an exercise like that does, because we are visual creatures, is when we even see an 8, 9, or 10, something happens, right? Our body starts to react, starts to release all these chemicals. Hopefully, if everything's working properly, right? We start to release all these chemicals, and that's good. We should be releasing these chemicals. These hormones should start moving to drive us. That's called a human driver, right? Towards the target, towards the goal of being in the presence of that 8, 9, or 10. Now, I'm just using 8, 9, and 10 as just a standard example of a beautiful woman, okay? And so when the student snaps himself into reality and says, okay, let me start describing what I'm seeing as a part of this lesson, most men start using the filter of their social training. And most guys, the first time through it, they say, well, she looks like she is well off. She looks like she comes from a wealthy family. She's on a yacht, and I'm like, that's not how you do it. If you are in person and you are describing this young lady, the first thing that you need to understand when we talk about this thing called foundational game is that you are describing the person and not the social landscape and not the social environment. So she's 5'5", right? 5'7". She's wearing a dress, plunging neckline, right? How's her body? What color are her eyes? What color is her hair? Right? Blonde, brunette? Is it short? Is it long? These are the things that I need you to describe when you're looking at this person, because I need you to be able to make the image that you see on your screen real. You see? Because when you can make that image real, then you can put yourself in position. This is how we train. This is how we get the repetitions up mentally. And so by the time they're actually in the presence of an actual woman, they're used to being able to point out something that's interesting about her. I see you got that necklace on. Where'd you get that from? That's interesting. Let's see. That's kind of heavy. Uh-oh. You brought the good stuff out. Well, I am worth it. So listen.
He is I and I am him.
I am worth it. I am him. So, tell me more about yourself, right? Now you're in there. Now you're having the conversation that'll lead to the presentation and the offer and the opportunity of the exchange. This is just a sample of what we do as coaches. You see, we go from hello to the pillow, but we have to start with you. Who are you? What is your background? Can you speak to that? Can you confidently say who you are socially, culturally, nationally? And then unpack what your attributes are. You see? How does your light shine as a man? What is your presence? What's your wisdom? How is your capacity for leadership, right? And what is it that you look forward to experiencing with that woman who's seated across from you with that grande latte with your cheap ass? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Coffee dates are wonderful. They're absolutely fine. Martini dates are better, but coffee dates are wonderful. She's sipping her grande latte, and you're looking at her, you're drinking her in, you're understanding and appreciating what it is that's happening in the moment. Now we've moved beyond that space. So back to Nigel. He's on the other side of the win. All right. He got the experience. He had the opportunity to experience a woman's organic and natural attraction to him. And he took her from hello to the pillow. So he got the win. Now he is sitting with himself. Because guess what? He doesn't know what to do next. Believe it or not, when most people, especially younger men, and when I say younger, I mean, between the ages of 19 and 26, when they experience authentic desire from a woman, when they're in that space of intimacy, however it went, it could have lasted 30 seconds or 30 minutes or 3 hours. On the other side is a man who is never going to be the same, because that experience transitioned him from desiring or presenting or leading with the transaction into the space of expecting, enjoying, and anticipating the exchange. You see?